Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to another tutorial. In this video you'll see that I'm going to show you my own technique, what I come up with myself on how I come up with the size, the plot, the dimensions of all my builds. Some tips and tricks and my techniques on how I do that. I hope that this helps you out. If it does, please drop a like down below. Let me know in the comments. Now let's get this started. Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to another tutorial. In this video you'll see that I'm going to be showing you all how I come up with the size, dimensions, how I size everything down, how do I plot everything out for my builds. Now I'm going to be showing you my own technique that I come up with myself, and I'm going to call it the door and window technique. Now I know that might sound a bit funny or strange, but in this video I'll explain it all to you as close as I can. Now some of you might not notice or realize that one block equals 1 meter in real life. So from this bottom left corner to this bottom right corner, that's 1 meter, which is 3 feet. So the bottom to the top is also 3 feet. So 1 meter by 1 meter all the way around. So using that also is a very good tip on how I size everything down. Alright, now if you look at this picture right here, my style that I'm going to be calling the door and window technique. If you look at these windows, they're going to be a 1x2. Scale those down to a Minecraft door, and that's why I call this a door and window technique that I use. So a Minecraft door is 1 block wide and 2 blocks tall. So if you look at this picture closely, you can imagine these windows being doors. Now if you use my technique correctly, you will see that this red line here where the windows are is going to be 50 blocks tall if each window is 2 blocks tall. Also look at this yellow lines here. Each line is going to be 3 blocks tall in between each window layer. Now yes, this yellow line of 3 blocks tall is going to be much shorter than the actual window, but you also need the 3 blocks in between each window. That way you have your room for your floor and ceiling. Now with the yellow lines being 3 blocks apart between the windows going vertically, they'll also be the same going horizontally, left to right, making this red line being 43 blocks apart from end to end, having the corners a 3x3. Using this technique with the window and door design, this makes it very simple. Alright, now here is just a start of the building that I have in the picture. I have it a whole lot shorter than what's in the picture. I just have just enough here just to show you a little bit of an example. So as you see right down here, again, we're going to look at the windows. Now like I said, we're going to be scaling everything down with the doors. With the doors being a 1x2, let's go ahead and look at these windows. Now as you've seen in the picture, if you want to make this just like the picture, the bottom windows are going to be 3 blocks tall, and they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks wide. Now some of you may not know that you can use the walls in between the windows for supports. Now also using this technique, you can have 3 blocks in between your windows. Now having 3 to 5 blocks is best. I would not do any more than 5 blocks depending on the build itself actually. Now if you're going to do the inside of the interior here, then what I would do, if you have 3 blocks there, let's go on the inside here. So right down here, as you see, this would be the floor. Right here, this would be the floor of the first floor. And then we got the window here, and right here would be the actual middle point between the 2 windows. Now having 3 blocks in between can allow you to actually have your ceiling and roof block right here in the middle like this. So you got 1 block from the window there, and then you got your flooring on this floor 1 block from the window there, which works out very well. Now if you don't want your floor up here to be the same color as your ceiling, then simply use carpet. Now if you're going to use a 5 block space, again, that would only be for the type of building that you're going to be doing, but that would be plenty enough room. I would not go more than 5. Now some buildings would have the actual floor right up against like this. Not very many, but some actually does. Now if you was gonna have that, then yes, you would have enough room. If you had your ceiling here, you would have enough room to have your redstone in here if you're going to be doing lights inside. Now let's go ahead and come right up here on this corner and look at this as well. So in the picture you seen, we have 3 blocks here, and I like to use an odd number, that way there's a middle point. Like for example, this is 3, so we got the middle point here. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 13, and so on. So as you see, we got 3 blocks in between each window going up. We got the 3 right here, so this would be a 3 by 3, and then this would be a 3 by 3 as well. And then over here we'd have 3 blocks, and then we'd have our windows here going up as well. Now also using the stairs upside down like this, and then having them like this here, makes it to where it's not so flat of a build. It gives it more depth to the build, and also using these walls here as well. Alright, now looking at other buildings, you will notice that they're not all going to be the same. What I mean about that, like right here, as you see in between these 2 windows, they're going to be 2 blocks instead of 3. That's okay, because they're not all going to be the same. If you look in real life, you'll notice that all the windows, they're not going to line up, or they're not going to always be the same. Now as you see, we have 2 blocks in between here on those, but then you'll notice here we have 3 blocks. Now why that is done like that is because we have 3 sets of windows here and 3 sets of windows here, and then that 3 in between goes on up. Just gives it a little bit more of a separation in the middle. And like I said, if you look on Google in real life, look up pictures of buildings, and you'll notice for yourself that you can do things like that. Just little subtle changes like that, not too much. Now what I mean about scaling things down as well is, you see this door here is a 2 by 3. Now you don't always have to use a Minecraft door. You can do this yourself and then place a button for the handle. Now you see this not being a 1 by 2 door size, you can still use that same thing, because this will also equal up as actually there's 1 door, there's 2 doors. So again, that don't always have to be a regular Minecraft door, so that actually will work out the same for the scaling. Right down here, as you see, one more example, we have the door here that I use the pink stained glass panes in this texture pack. So as you see, we got this door frame like this, having a nice little opening with this here, and that scales perfectly down for the size of these windows. And then also one more thing on this top part, as you see, we have again 2 blocks from here. But if you was to go on the inside here, let's break through like a Kool-Aid man here, and you'll notice right here would be the floor level, or the ceiling level if you're looking through this way. And if you're on top of here, this will be the floor level, and if you look up, this will be the ceiling level. So again guys, going up here, you'll see this is the floor level. Just scaling things down just like it needs to be is not too hard to do. Now also, if you look at my roads and parking lots, you'll also see for yourself that everything is going to be scaled down to the buildings and everything in the area as well. Not all roads are going to be the same size. Now if you need to see a good road tutorial video, I've done one in the past not too long ago, so check that out. But pretty much right down here, you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the middle marker here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now most vehicles in Minecraft are going to be 3 to 5 blocks wide. So there's 3 blocks, very easily to fit in there. And then as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's another vehicle that can also fit in there as well. So again, if you need to see a good road tutorial video, I've done one in the past, you can check that out as well. Now let's go over here real quick and look at this parking lot space. Now looking at this picture, these are real life measurements of parking spaces. This being 18 feet long, that makes it very good for a 5x7 space. Having this sort of measurements in between each space can really help you measuring out the whole parking lot. Now with that measurements of 7 blocks in each space, you will see that you will end up having 15 blocks on this red line, making a middle marker line going from top to bottom. Now as you see, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I like to do all my spaces a 5x7. I have also seen a lot of you ask me how I done my parking lot, the size of it and everything like that. Now I normally don't include that in build tutorials like this. IKEA was my last tutorial. I didn't actually do the parking lot block by block because it's kind of separate. Now if you look right through here, you need to have room for your vehicles to get through. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. Again, an odd number, making this a middle point here and plenty enough room for your vehicles to get through in both directions. So again, odd numbers will really work out for you in a lot of builds. Also right through here we have 3 blocks of this grass, again an odd number, having a middle point for your light post, trees and everything else in between. Alright, now back here on my IKEA, I'm going to use this for another example. For this 18-wheeler, sizing things up for your doors and everything like that. So in between the doors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again an odd number, that way you can put things like that in the middle. And also the actual 18-wheeler itself, I have tutorials on that. Pretty much everything in my world I have tutorials on. But just sizing this down to this door here, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks tall. I normally do like a 7x7 on the door itself, but this one I had a big blue wall on this IKEA, so I just want an extra block on that. So anywhere from like 7x7 or 7x8 will work for your docking doors. I built this White Castle restaurant a couple of days ago. I'm going to end up doing a tutorial on it as well. So right down here on this door system is pretty much a 3x3 because I use the custom door system with the glass panes and the iron bars there as the handle. Now you're going to have glass above the door on most restaurants and buildings in real life, so this will work out as well. Now I call this the door and window system. So if you base everything off the door, then you could base the windows off the door, and then you could base everything else off the door itself. So if you remember, 1 block is 1 meter, which is 3 feet. So looking at this, there's 1 door, 2 door, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 door system on that height, and that measures out perfectly on the actual entrance. So again, if you look at everything like I am, you'll quickly notice that if you use the system I use that I've been doing for all this time, everything would be a lot easier scaling everything down. Now for the ones that play with me and know me very well, you'll know that I do like my custom trees. Now this tree looks enormous, but if you think about it, it's really not that big if you compare it to real life. A lot of trees in real life, if you look at them, some of them are bigger than houses. They're taller than some of the really big buildings. So again, if you scale everything down, to the door and the windows and the buildings and the parking spaces, then everything else will just come right in naturally. Now, something that might need to be brought to your attention, I've seen a lot of people have their light poles or turn signals or parking lot lights too low to the ground, leaving it hard for vehicles to get through without hitting it. Now, having this here on my pole right on top of a block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks, and then I have a stair there which is 10 blocks, and then a slab here. So around that number is a good number to have that up off your road. Now, if you think about it, in real life, you're going to have room for your 18-wheelers, buses, and things like that to get through. So again, you need to scale things down to make it more realistic. Also, light posts like this for the side of the roads and parking lots as well. Alright, now I'm at my Walmart Supercenter, which I have a tutorial on this as well. Anyways, I'm going to give you a very good tip. Now, off camera, when I plan out my buildings, the size, dimensions, and everything, any building that I have, the letters that I have to build on the building, like this for example, I always build the letters off camera, off to the side, and then I base the size of the letters to the actual size of the build. And that way I can have the letters dead center of the build, and then have everything measured down to the letters of the build, and have everything just match perfectly. Now, also another tip that I'm going to give you is using that same system. You're probably wondering, how do I come up with the full dimensions? How wide, how far back, and everything else. How do I come up with how big a building needs to be? Well, again, if you just use the same type of system that I've been telling you about, anywhere that you're going to have an entrance. For example, let's come right back here on the back of this Walmart, and you'll see for yourself that I have the doors here for the Tire Lube and Express. I have a double door here, and again, measuring everything out with the door and the window system, coming up with a area in between for your vehicles to come in here, which will help you how big this needs to be, and then it will also help you how tall it needs to be, and then just go from there. It's going to take some practice. Now, I didn't do all this overnight. It's taken me a good 10-12 years to get to where I'm at now. I'm not perfect, but I'm just showing you everything that I've come up with and the system that I use, that I self-taught myself pretty much. So yeah, guys, I hope that you all are enjoying this, and if any of this makes sense to you, please leave a like and a comment down below. Alright, now on this Whataburger here, which I also have a tutorial on, surprisingly enough, I'm going to use this for example as well. So if it's a smaller building, use banners. Don't use actual built letters or numbers on the building. Scale everything down as well on this, like I have here. Now, I hope that you all realize that coming up with this kind of subject for a video and different ideas and everything is a little bit tough. Now, I hope that you all enjoyed this and have some kind of good information out of it and use it for yourself. If so, please drop a like and let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.